And welcome back. It's been a while since I've been live, but here we are, and we're about to kick off from the Cotton Bowl, and we're going to see a matchup between Ohio State and Missouri. I'm going to look up Ohio State opt-outs right now. I know, of course, that Kyle McCord's transferring to Syracuse. He's not going to be playing in this game. It appears that Marvin Harrison Jr. Is opted out. He's only going to watch. Everyone else for Ohio State who's not dealing with injuries are going to play. They weren't listed as unavailable. So it's only Marvin Harrison Jr. opting out. I think what that communicates is, number one, obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. is gone, but there's also a good chance that everyone who's playing in the Cotton Bowl is going to come back, which would be absolutely massive for Ryan Day and for Ohio State football. Oh my gosh, or oh my gosh, I don't know why I said oh my gosh, but SFS Inverted, hello, how are you? Apparently Tommy Eichenberg is out as well, according to SFS Inverted. Thank you very much. Chris Lane, it's good to see you in here. How are all of you doing? Accordy, for some reason, I have Missouri to win this one. They seem more motivated for this matchup. Oh, they're definitely, I think, the more motivated team in this game. But I bet that Ohio State and Ryan Day are going to bring a high level of effort here. Cody Schrader, I'm curious to see how he'll fare against an Ohio State defense that's been very conservative all season. Though I have a feeling that with Ohio State, after that Michigan loss, there's, I think, a good chance that they'll let some things loose in this game, not just offensively, but defensively as well. My pick for this matchup is 31-17, Ohio State over Missouri. I think that Ohio State is the far superior defense. I think they have more talent offensively and really at every position on the football field. And I think that overcomes perhaps, Missouri having a big advantage in terms of motivation, and also Missouri having the more consistent quarterback play. But we'll see here. SFS Inverted says that you're scared. My response to you would be, why is that exactly? I mean, outside of the fact that you're an Ohio State fan and your team is playing in a top 10 matchup, what do you see in this game that tells you that Ohio State is in trouble here? I looked on Action Network between Missouri and Ohio State, and right now, I think, looking at the odds and live score section, 14 experts are picking Missouri to cover. 2 of them are picking Missouri money line, and only 2 Action Network experts are picking Ohio State to cover. And 61% of public bets are on Missouri to cover. And that's just covering. That isn't necessarily money line, but let's check out money line as it is. 62% of public bets are on Missouri money line, and 57% of the money is on Missouri money line. So, and that's out of almost 200,000 bets. So the money is on Missouri to not only win, but also to cover. And with the amount of people that I think look at this game and look, I mean, I don't really know how to put it, partially because I'm tired, but I just think Ohio State's the better team. I'll say on this live stream, since not a ton of people are going to be watching this, it's something that I've wanted to keep quiet, but I'll give it away here. I do think Ohio State is better than Alabama. I think they're better than Texas. I think the only team in the college football playoff that might be better than Ohio State is Washington, and that's when they're playing at their best. I think on an average day-to-day basis, I think Ohio State's probably the second best team in college football, and they're only going to be without Marvin Harrison Jr. and Tommy Eichenberg, 2 great players, but they have great depth, and Tui Mo'olau and Sawyer will play, Burke is playing, and Egbuka is playing, and same with Travion Henderson. It's huge. Chris Lane says, all good, Sam. I hope all is well. Oh, I'm tired. I'm functioning off of 5 hours of sleep. I stayed up with family last night talking and also watching Oklahoma masterfully choke away the Alamo Bowl to Arizona. Justin Rogg, thank you for being on here. Sam, what are your thoughts on Alabama hiring Michigan's ex-linebacker coach? Nick Saban is doing everything possible to win this matchup, and he is diving into the bag of tricks. He's doing things perfectly sound, perfectly legal. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him hiring an ex-Michigan linebackers coach. Nothing wrong with that at all. He wants some familiarity, not just with Michigan's defense as a unit, but also with players like Junior Colson and Michael Barrett, who Hilo coached just through last year's TCU game. SFS Inverted says, I don't have a good feeling, but go Bucks. Missouri has good film. Missouri is sound on defense. Where they really get you is Luther Burden III and Theo Weiss. They have great receivers, and Cody Schrader just can gash anyone up the middle. Also, Brady Cook he's not a dual threat quarterback like Jalen Milroe, but he does have a capability to run, and he's a much more polished passer than he was last season. The whole crowd is Missouri fans. That doesn't shock me at all. This is like Missouri's Super Bowl right here. And for Ohio State, this is just really another big game. But for Missouri, this is their Super Bowl. I mean, this might as well be the national championship game for Missouri and their fan base. So that does not necessarily come as a surprise, and Missouri fans are much, much closer as it is. Let's hopefully get this up at some point to 100 concurrent viewers, and let me set a goal at, let's go bold, 100 likes. I bet we can all get to 100 likes, as throughout this game, as other illegal streaming services are taken down and ours stays up because this is just live commentary and play-by-play, I bet more people will flock to what will be an awesome watch party. And here come out the Ohio State football players and Ryan Day. Ohio State's only 2-12 all-time in bowl games versus the SEC, but they're dominant against Missouri, and Missouri isn't exactly Alabama. They're not Georgia. They don't have that level of talent. So I'm curious to see how this game goes. I'm pretty confident that Ohio State's going to win. I'm more confident in Ohio State beating Missouri than I am in Penn State beating Ole Miss, or that I am in Michigan beating Alabama. Now we just have to wait for the ads to pass, and we can get started. Let's check anything. All right, let's see what everyone's saying in the chat. I hope I don't have to turn my television off a lot. Well, maybe you do. Maybe you don't. I hope you don't either. I think it's going to be a good game right up until late third, early fourth quarter, and then I think Ohio State begins to pull away. I'm not going to lie, though. There's a part of my gut that's telling me that Ohio State will just let out all the anger and really pour it on Missouri. But that's more of a gut instinct. I think logically what's more likely to happen is what my prediction is, which is a 14-point double-digit, but not 3 touchdown or not blowout Ohio State win. Just a controlling win. It'll notch another New Year's Six Bowl win for Ryan Day, another top 10 win, and 12-win season. And it will give Ohio State some momentum heading into 2024. Remember in the preseason when people were betting us to go 9-3? Yes, I do. I have no clue why anyone in their right mind had this Ohio State team going 9-3. With that Notre Dame game in mind, there was definitely a chance for this team to go 10-2, for sure. I mean, they could have easily lost that Notre Dame game. They could have, just with how they played Rutgers and how they played Penn State, maybe if they didn't lose to Notre Dame, in another rerun of the season, or maybe they somehow beat Michigan, they lose in an upset to either Rutgers or maybe Penn State. But honestly, who could have had this team going 9-3? I think that was. I think those were people that just didn't like Ohio State. I think the returning production, the coaching staff, the recruiting, the usage of the portal, I think all of those things were clear from the get-go that Ohio State was going to be a good team this year. But those people, they've either changed their predictions, they'll admit that they were wrong, in which case I commend them because we all get things wrong and we all have errors in life. Heck, I thought that Michigan State would be a preseason top 25 team. That goes in the gutter. Or they're nowhere to be found. But here we are. Ohio State's 11-1. They're 7th. And they're going to be playing a 9th-ranked 10-2 Missouri Tiger team. And both Eli Drinkwitz and Ryan Day are known for being offensive innovators. So this is going to be a fascinating game. Again, for everyone new who's joining on here, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also click the notification bell because I'm going to be going live for the Peach Bowl tomorrow between Penn State and Ole Miss, and I will be going live for the 2 college football playoff semifinal games between Alabama and Michigan in the Rose Bowl and Washington and Texas in the Sugar Bowl. This game's about to kick off here, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go. I think I am a few seconds behind, as is the case typically with YouTube TV. But that is what it is. We'll live. And during ad breaks, there will occasionally be an ad break on here, but for the most part, I'm going to be focusing on answering your questions and your comments in the live chat. Alrighty, Devin Brown's going to be starting here. Let's see what happens. Alrighty. Last time Ohio State participated in a Cotton Bowl, they smashed USC. And that isn't good. They hand it off to Henderson, and Henderson gets tackled for a 3-yard loss by Darius Robinson, Missouri's number 6. So it'll be 2nd and 13 from Ohio State's own 22-yard line. Again, Missouri does have a solid defense. It's not elite. I don't think it's at Ohio State's level, though maybe the SEC is just that much better every given year. But it's a good defense. There's a reason they were able to win all those close games early in the season is their defense came up clutch. Devin Brown's going to drop to throw, screen pass, complete miscommunication meant to go to Ibuka, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 12 from the 22.5-yard line. It's nice to see that Ibuka is playing. That gives some high upside at the wide receiver position and not a total lack of experience, as Julian Fleming is in the portal and Marvin Harrison Jr. has obviously opted out of this game. So 3rd and 12, and y'all are right, the entire crowd essentially is Missouri fans. This is essentially a Missouri home game. Henderson is in the backfield. Play clock is at 4. Missouri sends pressure. They're able to get through, but Brown rolls out of the pocket. He's going to throw deep, and he overthrew Ibuka out of bounds. You see that raw talent and ability that he has, but he just needs to get warmed up. He's a little rusty right now, and Ryan Day isn't mad at him because I think he understands. 4th and 12, Ohio State is going to punt this football away. Yeah, I mean, Missouri stunted there. They brought a 5-man pressure, and they were able to get through. Brown was able to roll out, but Ibuka was well covered there by Missouri's number 19, Marcus Clark, as I think No. The injuries for Missouri are Tyron Hopper and Ennis Reckenstraw Jr. Those are the injuries for Missouri. Same with Chad Bailey. And delay of game for Ohio State. So they're going to back up another 5 yards. Missouri should get pretty good field position. Wow. So a slow start for Ohio State, but we've seen this all season long with the Buckeyes. It takes them a quarter to get going, and I presume with how all this is operating, it'll probably take them 2 quarters to get going with the new quarterback situation and Devin Brown. But they're eventually going to hum, and that defense typically carries things through. And it takes a nice Ohio State bounce. It'll be downed at the Missouri 28. That's where Missouri will start 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'm only repeating that again, and I will only do so when I see a large inflow of new people. And indeed, we do have that. So thank you for joining us. We have a watch party where all of you can interact, and play-by-play and color commentary. At least whatever my attempt of that is. 1st and 10, we got Brady Cook on the field. We have Cody Schrader. Missouri's going tight. They're going to hand it off, and Schrader is going to get a 5-6 yard gain out to the 34-35 of Missouri. He has 1,000 rushing yards, several rushing touchdowns. He's fast, started his career at Missouri as a walk-on, and is just phenomenal. They make it a 4-yard gain, so 2nd and 6. There's pressure almost immediately on Brady Cook, but he's going to roll out with tons of space, and he's going to get to the Missouri 49-yard line. So that right there was, 15, 16, 17-yard gain on the quarterback scramble there. There's immediate pressure from Jack Sawyer and also from Tyleik Williams, just immediate pressure, but they couldn't box him in. Fake handoff play action and dump-off pass for about a gain of 1 to Mookie Cooper. Jack Sawyer was there in the face of Brady Cook. So you can see that both of these D-lines are getting pressure, making these offensive lines a little uncomfortable. But it helps when you have Devin Brown who can roll out for Ohio State and Brady Cook who has experience and is well-versed as a scrambler. Missouri going tight again. They motion out, I believe, Mookie Cooper, and Schrader's going to run it for only a gain of 1. So it'll be 3rd and 8 from the Ohio State 48. JT Tuimoloau and Michael Hall combining on the tackle and the stop right there for the Buckeyes. Obvious passing situation here. If you get 4, maybe 3 yards, you'll probably go for it if you're Missouri. Brady Cook going back. He's going to go deep, and complete miscommunication there on the route. No one was there. Josh Proctor chasing after the football. It looked like he was targeting Theo Weiss Jr., but Missouri going to have to punt after picking up 1 first down on a quarterback scramble. Both of these teams feeling out each other here early. Oh, holy crap. We have almost 400 concurrent viewers. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Williams will punt it away. Let's see if he can pin him deep. And no, out of bounds in between the 10 and the 15. So Ohio State will start not with perfect field position, but fair field position nonetheless. At least they're not pinned inside of their 5. That would be rather unfortunate for Ryan Day and his crew. All right, we have a commercial break here. Let's ignore the ads and let's dive in. Okay, so after that Penn State game, there was no way we're going to lose to them regardless. Yeah, I mean, you controlled the game efficiently, but I will say Penn State came in with a pretty terrible game plan. They pivoted very quickly, went complete pass, abandoned the run. Penn State came better prepared against Michigan than they did Ohio State. And I think if they attacked Ohio State with the same game plan that they used to attack Michigan, that it could have been a tighter and more entertaining football game. But who knows? Austin Christmas, nice to see you in here. Let's go Buckeyes. Sad about my Cyclones today, Mr. Wombat says. Well, first of all, sweet name, Mr. Wombat. Second of all, yeah, I mean, 36-26 to Memphis is pretty sad. honestly. I don't know what happened other than the fact that I saw Memphis receivers constantly torching Iowa State's defense, and I think John Heacock is the name of your defensive coordinator. He typically fields great defenses. Mirko is one of the silent reasons Ohio State lost to Michigan. No punts inside of the 20, and he averaged 35 a punt. I mentioned that, I think, during the live stream, is that Michigan early on had the better punting game, and that could make the difference in terms of field position. But instead it was Kyle McCord who gave Michigan the short field. And also you have to remember Jaden Fielding missing that field goal. That didn't help either. All right. Both defenses looking good early, says thank you. Kana, you can just tell by his accuracy that Devin Brown is not good. We'll have to see. He's probably just getting warmed up, I think. Chimichanga Guy, howdy do Sam and everyone. Hello? Thank you for popping on. Chimichanga Guy, it's always good to see you on here. So Ohio State's offense is back on the field. Right now they are at their 10. It was out of bounds at the 10. And they're going to hand it off to Henderson, and Henderson will pick up a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 at the 13. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. So Matthew Jones and Donovan Jackson are playing. The entire offensive line is playing. And at wide receiver, you're going to have some youngsters step up, whether it's Jaden Ballard, Carnell Tate, Brandon Innes, Noah Rogers, or the veteran Xavier Johnson. Emeka Egbuka is the one constant, and he right there is open for about a gain of 6 or maybe gain of 7 for a first down, or at least setting up a 3rd and short. I think they're going to give him the first down, though. He was open right there, and Brown found him. So the Buckeyes pick up their first down of the Cotton Bowl. This game could go on for a long period of time, and I say that because the way that both of those defenses looked in their first few drives, there's just a chance, Play action, Devin Brown facing some pressure. He gets it out, though, to Egbuka for another gain of, I was going to say 7, but actually gain of 8 yards, so sets up a nice 2nd and short opportunity for Devin Brown. 2 quick, probably first read throws in a row, getting him comfortable, finding the constant wide receiver, the best wide receiver right now for the Buckeyes. And I know Luther Burden III is good, but Emeka Egbuka could be the best wide receiver on the field if he's healthy. And they will run it with Travion Henderson, and Henderson gets out to the 41 with a good gain right there. So you saw that explosiveness. You saw his disciplined feet where he stayed in bounds to pick up really an extra 5 yards. And that right there was a gain of, I'd like to say, 14. I'm going to say a gain of 14 yards right there. Yep, 14 yards per ESPN. Cade Stover, good to see that he's in this game. Henderson, his statistics underrate how good of a running back he is, because he was injured and held out for those 3-4 games for precautionary reasons. He didn't play against Penn State, and if he did, he could have made a big difference. That was not a good play design. Missouri read that very quickly. Henderson was tackled there for about a 2-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 12 from Ohio State's own 39. They tried to go to the left and shift over some offensive linemen from their positions, and Missouri just read that like a book. Easy. 2nd and 11 for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And the Buckeyes are willing to use up some of that clock. They shift over Xavier Johnson and also G. Scott Jr., number 88, and false start for the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's going to back them up further. And there's a fight between Josh Simmons and another Missouri player, but it'll be 2nd and 16 regardless for Ohio State. Looked like they were going to attempt a run there to the other side of the field with Travion Henderson. And that was Josh Simmons, who's the most penalized offensive lineman in the country from, I think, a year or two ago. So, not really a surprise there, just an unfortunate reality that we got hit with. Matthew Jones is actually starting at center here. It's pretty crazy to think about. Pretty interesting, too. Screen pass to Igbuka, and Igbuka tackled almost immediately, probably gained just 1 yard there, and that was an excellent tackle by number 3, Sidney Williams, who's listed as the backup star defensive back for the Tigers. Great tackle there. Nice read. This Missouri defense is solid, and their strength is in the secondary. I mean, if you're going to attack this defense, you have to do it at the line of scrimmage in Ohio State, whether through that false start from Simmons or from, I think, some bad play calls misusing Henderson. The Buckeyes haven't put themselves in good positions. And another false start, I think, on Josh Simmons again. Another false start. This time it was number 70, Josh Schreier, the other Josh, and the other offensive tackle. So that will be that'll be 3rd and 20 right there. Oh, that is that's not good. Now it's it's not just a passing situation, it's a deep passing down. If you want to convert this, you have to gain 20 yards. I expect Missouri, they're not going to bring any pressure, actually. What they're going to do, they're going to roll out, and Devin Brown's just going to run out of bounds for no gain. That was weird. So Ohio State's going to have to punt the ball away. Henderson, it looked like he handed it off to Henderson, and Henderson probably would have picked up 10 to 15 yards there. But instead he, I guess, read the defense wrong, oddly enough, and tried to roll out and find someone who was open, but there's no one open. Mirko will punt. Luther Burden III is back deep to return. Ohio State will be punting from their own 30 or 29-yard line, about. Mirko punts the ball away. Luther Burden III is just going to let it bounce inside of right at the 10. It rolled a little backwards, but right at the 10. So a 61-yard punt for Jesse Mirko. Good special teams coverage there. And not a smart decision by Luther Burden to let it bounce. He should have just fair caught that. All right. It's in the middle of the first quarter, so you know what that means. I am going to take an ad break, get some water, but I'll be right back and I'll be answering your questions. If you're new here, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also check out my Patreon page through the link in the pinned comment or in the description if that's easier for you. And you can support the channel, and depending on your tier, you can gain some insider access to bonus content, which in the past month there hasn't been much, but I am going to be posting some bonus content and just some personal thoughts of mine, particularly regarding the college football playoff games and the national championship game in blog post format. So if you want to see those and also support the channel, check out my Patreon page. I'll be back in just a few seconds. Thank you all very much. Ooh, and we're back. How was all of your guys' Christmas? Like, did you get any good gifts? Did you see a family member? Are you celebrating with someone new and special? Let me know how your Christmas went in the comments. All right, let me see. How do I see the game and not just hear this commentary? You have to watch legally because YouTube does a very good job of taking down illegal live streams. And yeah, SFS inverted, I'm unfortunately a play behind. But it is what it is. All right, the game is back on. It's Cody Schrader out there. Edward Rasp Jr., why is Day still coaching? Ryan Day is still coaching because he's won 11 games every year he's at Ohio State. He's good against top 10 teams. And Cody Schrader just gained 6 yards on a run, so it's going to be 2nd and 4 from Missouri Zone 16. Ryan Day's a great head coach. I personally think he's an elite head coach. I just think Michigan has matched up well with his team in 21 and 22, and I think this year Michigan just fielded a great team. I think Ryan Day has a Michigan problem in the same way that Nick Saban has had a problem of beating ranked Auburn teams on the road. Not that Ryan Day is Nick Saban, but Ryan Day is still a great, I think definitely top 6 head coach. That was a nice tackle there by Denzel Burke, I believe. Let me see, yeah. Denzel Burke, nice open field tackle on Brady Cook. Only a 1-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 3 from the Missouri 17. And I'll get back to answering more of these comments. I'll try and blitz through some of them or really spend time answering really good questions and statements. It looked like that could have been... Oh my gosh, Brady Cook was under immediate pressure. It looked like his offensive line... They might call it intentional grounding, but regardless, it's 4th and 3 inside your own 20. So Ohio State will get good field position, and the intentional grounding call is made. So that'll be 4th and 13, probably. Brady Cook just got immediately pressured, threw it out of bounds. Let me see this. Yeah, so Jim Knowles here only sent 4, but Tuimoloau and Sawyer were just way too fast. I mean, they beat those tackles instantly. Missouri's offensive line got a slow start. It was like the antithesis of a false start. Instead of starting quickly, they sat there in position for an extra minute and let themselves get beat. It was a very weird play by Missouri. But 4th and 10, and Missouri punts it away. And Ballard will call for a fair catch at Ohio State's 47-yard line, and there's some pushing and shoving there between players. And another ad break. Well, what do you look at that? Only like 3 plays, and they decide to play an ad break. This is the state of college football, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I gave my buddy a flamethrower for Christmas. Oh my gosh. He loved it. Well, I would love a flamethrower. Sounds awesome. SFS inverted, absolutely. The game is still early. Very early. You can't... These teams are still feeling each other out. You can't take away too much from this first few series. But Ohio State's defense is certainly carrying the load. Let's see what they can do now with their 3rd possession on offense. I love that. You got barbecue back there? I think that was a decent Gus Johnson impression. Not nearly as epic, though. But yeah, Ohio State corners and their ability to hit hard and tackle well. Big Ten will be embarrassed when Bama beats the bleepity-bleep out of Michigan. Alabama is not beating Michigan to a pulp. That's not happening. I will go on the record here and say that, like I said in my preview and prediction video, and I want to say more, but I'm going to hold myself for now from saying more. Michigan will beat Alabama 31-20. they will win in a more dominant and controlling fashion than they did against Ohio State. And Alabama may not even turn over the ball as much as Ohio State did, and Michigan will still win. Because Michigan, I think, is significantly a better team than Alabama. I would be embarrassed to lose to this Alabama team. Whereas if Michigan was playing 2020 Alabama, it would be disappointing, but I wouldn't feel shame in losing to that elite team. And I think this Ohio State team, at least, with Marvin Harrison Jr., with Tommy Eichenberg, and with Kyle McCord, I think would beat Alabama and control that matchup. I don't see Alabama beating Michigan to a pulp. I don't. Because Alabama relies on big plays and really their raw talent coming out of high school to beat teams. And Nick Saban's coaching, you always have to factor that in as well, but Alabama's played so many close games. And even in the games where they were the better team, looked like the better team, like against Georgia, for example, still close games. Michigan controlled their game against Penn State. Michigan at least has dominated lesser competition. And you can't take away too much from comparing statistics, but Michigan analytically is the better team. They've been the better team pretty much every week all season long. And Travion Henderson has a hole, and if not for his own guy, Igbuka, basically blocking him along with the Missouri defender, he could have been off to the races. But he's down at the Missouri 32. It's a nice toss play. Stover had the perfect block, and I think that Missouri's defense thought that Henderson was going to bounce to the outside instead of cutting in. It was a really nice cut there. Fooled number 4 for Missouri, fooled number 12. I mean, he's a great back, and it would benefit his stock. He'd be a first-round pick for sure if he came back next season and had a good year. They're going to hand it off to Henderson again. He bounces to the outside. Gain of 7. Going to be to the 26 of Missouri. Second and 3, 4 minutes and 45 seconds left in the matchup. They're in field goal range. Devin Brown takes the ball. He's going to quarterback run it, but he gets tackled for a 4 or 5 yard loss instead, so it'll be 3rd and 7 from the 30. Wow. Yeah, that was J.C. Carlisle's, or Jalon Carlisle's. Corner. Well, actually, free safety. Came on the safety blitz. Was not picked up at all, and Devin Brown couldn't shake him off. So 3rd and 7 from their 30. They're in field goal range, but you'd like to get closer. Missouri looks like they're going to play press here. Devin Brown's going to step back. He's well protected. Throws over the middle to Carnell Tate for a gain of 4, but Tate's hit hard. So will Ohio State go for it? Will they settle for a field goal? Decisions. Nice stop by Carnell there, number 13 of Missouri, Dalen Carnell, the starting star defensive back. And by star, I mean position. I don't mean that he's like their best player. Because I think Chris Abrams, Drain, and Jalen Carlisle are better players, but he plays at the star defensive back position, to be clear. And Ohio State will go for it. 4th and 3 from the Missouri 26. Ryan Day calls a timeout. Devin Brown looks injured. Are we gonna see Lincoln Kienholz? Because Devin Brown, I mean, the last snap it looked like he was limping, but I wanted to make sure that's what I was seeing before I said anything. But he's clearly hurt. Are we gonna see some of Lincoln Kienholz? Kelly Cole. I am an Alabama fan to the core. Roll Tide. We'll see on Monday about Alabama and Michigan. Indeed we will, Kelly, and may the best team win. Go Blue. Squirty, well, that sucks. Brown banged up again. Yeah, that does stink. Wow. Well, they're probably going to go for it again, I would assume. That was a really weird play, though. Like, Henderson was going to get the direct snap, and Brown was going to be on the sidelines in, like, this wildcat position. Looks like this will be the most watched bowl game this year, says exotic_T. I think it'll be watched more than Penn State Ole Miss, and probably more than Georgia. Yeah, out of the non-college football playoff games, I'd agree. This will be the most watched, because the Fiesta Bowl and the Orange Bowl should be dominant performances by one side, and Penn State and Ole Miss. Penn State's fan base isn't the size of Ohio State's, and I imagine Ole Miss's is probably comparable, if not just a little bigger than Missouri's, but not enough to compensate for the size difference between Ohio State and Penn State. Devin Brown is 4 of 6 for 20 yards. Brady Cook is 1 of 2 for 1 yard. Henderson is 6 for 39 in terms of carries and yards gained. I hate fourth downs. Kick it. Especially since Ohio State's not proven all season long they're good at converting the fourth downs. They're not like Michigan or Alabama, who Michigan goes for it often, at least once or twice per game, and they're pretty good at converting it. Alabama doesn't go for it nearly as often, but when they do, they practically always convert it. Okay, so Devin Brown, his left ankle's being wrapped up. And it looks like... Oh yeah, he definitely landed on it awkwardly on that one play. Let's see if Ohio State kicks this or if they go for it. Yep, they're going to kick it. Fielding will attempt. This is a 44-yard attempt, I think they said, and that is perfect. So Ohio State will go up 3-0. They put together a sustainable drive. You can repeat that drive, which is very good. Now, just get another defensive stop. Ryan Day's talking on the sidelines to Jelani Thurman, who makes Ryan Day look like a midget. That's how big he is. Wow. Gosh, we have almost 1,000 concurrent viewers. This is awesome. I feel very blessed. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell if you don't mind. I want to get as many subs as we can because this is the best Big Ten football community on YouTube. Yeah, Devin Brown looks... I'm seeing comments saying he looks done. And yeah, he's leaning. Schrader's a dog. Mizzou needs to feed him. Oh, he is. I mean, he's a great running back. That was an awkward kick. Oh, he touched it. But he's going to knee it. He was going to run it back, but he decided to knee it after he touched it, nearly muffed it. Yeah, Missouri needs to feed him. It's so hard for a team like Missouri, or I think a traditional spread team, to attack Ohio State's defense, because I think they have the best DBs in the nation, and they have good linebackers who can stop the run. And that makes things hard, because Ohio State can blitz and send pressure, and their coverage guys are so good that they can go man-to-man, or you can even have an extra body attacking their secondary, and they'll still cover you. You have to run the football. You have to have really great to elite offensive line play to beat Ohio State. We've seen this time and time again, even when Ohio State didn't have a phenomenal defense. Their combination of offense and defense just makes it hard to beat them. We got a $2 super chat We need some excitement, Sam. Bring it, LOL. Thank you very much, Chris Lane, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. There's a flag that was thrown after Schrader's run. We'll see what that penalty is all about. Yeah, all the all the Missouri fans are booing the refs because they're talking. Oh, I forget exactly what that penalty was because I was paying attention to the chat, but it was something minor. It was on Luther Burden. First and 15, regardless of the penalty. It's first and 15. Alrighty, well, Brady Cook has Cody Schrader, and he had number 3 in the backfield motioning out. That's Luther Burden the third. There is a pass complete to Theo Weiss Jr., number 1, for a gain of 6. So that'll be 2nd and 9. Missouri using tempo here, going quickly to the line. They motion over their tight end, 87, Brett Norfleet. Hand it off to Schrader. Schrader finds a hole and gets a gain of about 6. It'll be 3rd and 3. Maybe it's just a gain of 5 and it'll be 3rd and 4. But still, now you're in a position, if you're Missouri, to run the football again on the 3rd down or pass. It's not an obvious passing down. Yep, 3rd and 3. Now Missouri's taking their time. Cook's communicating the play to his linemen. He has Schrader in the backfield along with Luther Burden. I expect Burden to motion out at some point. He does, to the left of Cook. Tuimoloau, oh my gosh. Cook escapes and he scrambles away, scampering all the way out to the Missouri 43. I mean, Sawyer and Tuimoloau are continuously beating the tackles, but the problem is the gap opens up as a result, and Cook can just slide right out. 1st and 10 from their own 42. Missouri going tight, and Cody Schrader takes the handoff, gets a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 at the 47. Brady Cook wanted to throw it to Theo Weiss Jr., but that route closed up very quickly. Cook's going to have to throw it away, and he does. 3rd and 5. No one was open. He wanted to go to Theo Weiss Jr. on a, fake vertical screen play, but it was well covered almost immediately. That open route was just sucked in by an Ohio State defensive back. 3rd and 5. Again, you have Schrader and you have Luther Burden the third in the backfield. Burden motions out, this time on a wheel route, and pass incomplete. Tried to get to Theo Weiss Jr. a little high. Weiss couldn't bring it in. It's 4th and 5, and Cook's frustrated as his team is going to have to punt it back to the Buckeyes with 21 seconds left in the first quarter. Jacob Reeves, thank you for subscribing. That's awesome. What made you subscribe, if you don't mind me asking? Gosh, I am... A DI114N, why is your game so behind? I don't know. I'm going to exit out of YouTube TV and try and catch it up after the first quarter. I'm going to do that, in fact, during an ad break that'll come up very shortly. Which defense is playing better so far, Sam? It's difficult. I would say Ohio State's. I think both offenses are playing fairly evenly, where their run offenses are outperforming their pass offenses at the moment. I just think Ohio State's defense is better, and that's why you're seeing them get pressure, and you're seeing them perform better in coverage as well. I mean, no one is open for Missouri. Not even Luther Burden III. No one is open. That's just my opinion so far, though. All right, Devin Brown at his 9. It's a direct snap to Henderson, and that's a tackle for loss of 1 yard. It'll be 2nd and 11 from the 8. And that's the end of the first quarter. Okay, so I'm going to take an ad break. I'm going to try and catch up the stream, and we'll see where I'm at when this game comes back on. So I'll be back in a few seconds. Oh my gosh, I might need to splash water on my face at halftime. There. A little higher. Okie dokie. Let me get back to the chat. Oliver S. Dude, Day needs to give up play calling. I agree with that, and I'm going to release a video after this game, regardless of whether Ohio State wins or not, detailing some offensive coordinators that I think Ohio State should hire. I'm serious. Ohio State does need a play caller. And I've had a video prepared, actually, for about a week or two now. I just haven't released it because the entire focus is on, the New Year's Six Bowls, and Ohio State probably won't make a move until after the New Year's Six Bowl games are over. If they do make one, I don't know if they will try and bring in an actual qualified play caller. I don't know if they will or won't. I don't. But it's something that I think Ohio State needs. A Wyatt Odom W stream I'm watching on 3 Electronics right now. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Wyatt. Jason McNichols, how you feel about a lot of Ohio State starters not playing? I feel since they lost to Michigan, they've just given up on the team. I mean, only Marvin Harrison Jr. and Tommy Eichenberg are sitting. McCord left because he wasn't guaranteed a starting spot. So, I mean, would I like it if no one opted out or if opt-outs didn't exist? Absolutely, but that's not the reality. It does speak volumes that a lot of players that could have opted out chose not to when they chose to play in this game. I think that is what we should be paying attention to right here. Hey, this is the start of the second quarter in this matchup. Okie dokie. So it's going to be 2nd and 11 for Ohio State at their own 8. Ohio State's being given a 73.7% chance to win. That's about the same that they had at the beginning of the game. They're keeping Devin Brown in the game. This is another Wildcat play. And they're going to run it with Henderson, and that somehow worked. about a gain of 6 or 7. It'll be 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2. So I don't know what Ohio State's going to do with that Wildcat formation, but we'll see. All right, Devin Brown is now back in the game. He takes the snap, and he's going to get sacked. He got decked immediately. That was Johnny Walker, number 15, and Ohio State, they're going to have to punt from their own 7. Wow. Wow, he just hit. Wait, did he fumble? It looked like they're debating whether Missouri recovered the fumble inside of the 10, but I think he was down. So I was taking a punt from their own 8. All right, and Mirko punts this away from his own 8. And Missouri, they fair catch it. Cody Schrader. I think it was Chris Abrams Drain, actually, who fair caught that at the 49 of Missouri. Whew. Okay. So that was not a good series for Ohio State. That was bad, is what that was. BK, wow, huge stop by MO. Indeed. Now they have good field position. They're at their own 48. I mean, they just really need 120 or 30-yard play to, tie up the game, or a consistent drive to take the lead, which is just crazy, if I'm being honest. Wow. Tired. Ugh. All right, everyone. Well, alrighty, everyone. Well, some people in the chat who are deciding to be trolls have been removed for the time being. Yeah, Chris Lane, sleep is good. I am going to be going to bed immediately after this game. Like, as soon as this game is done, I'm going off to sleep. All right, and we're back. Cody Schrader got a gain of 5 on the run, so Missouri's in Ohio State territory. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 47. They're going to run Schrader again on the outside, and he does get a gain of 2. It'll be 3rd and 3 at the 45 of Ohio State. Missouri's done an okay job of getting the run going, but they're averaging 4.6 yards per carry mainly because of Brady Cook's scrambles. Schrader's averaging 4.5 yards per carry. Henderson is averaging 5.6 yards per carry. But Missouri right now is 2 sacks, few clutch tackles for loss. And Brady Cook's mobility is making Missouri's run game statistically more efficient. 3rd and 2. Brady Cook takes the direct snap, changes direction, and he's stopped. 4th and 2 at Ohio State's 44. The question is, will Missouri go for it? That's what the question is. And it seems like the offense is staying on the field. Eli Drinkwitz is willing to roll the dice, willing to take risks. We'll see how that pans out. All right. Let me see what the formation of Missouri is. They're going to come out with Schrader in the backfield along with Luther Burden III. They're probably going to motion out Burden. And they fake it, and Brady Cook picks up the first down. 1st and 10 at the Ohio State 37. They faked the toss to Luther Burden, and it got 93, and it got Ohio State's linebackers to move. It did. Got Igbinosun to move, too. Opened up a wide lane for Brady Cook to get through. 1st and 10 at the Ohio State 38. Missouri has 57 rushing yards, but only 7 passing yards. Let's see if they pass here. They are going to go for a play-action pass, but Cook sacked back at the 42. That right there is Jack Sawyer applying the pressure. It'll be 2nd and 13, 2nd and 14 for the Missouri Tigers. And Devin Brown's walking into the room with medical staff, as reported by ESPN. He's probably out for the game. That means Lincoln Kienholz is going to have to step up, or maybe Ohio State thinks that they can just pull a wildcat and just run on every play and somehow win, which I don't think is a reliable strategy. Alrighty. That is a screen to Theo Weiss and a beautiful tackle by Denzel Burke. Holy cow. He's on fire. That was a TFL right there on Theo Weiss Jr., and that was a really shoestring tackle. Burke just doing that with one arm. He sat comfortably and made a clutch tackle on Theo Weiss's ankle. You got barbecue? You got barbecue back there? I can't do a good Gus Johnson impersonating voice. Can't do it. 3rd and 14 at the Ohio State 42. You got to get a good chunk of yards to consider going for it here. Otherwise, it's foolish. Brady Cook is back to pass. Faces pressure, and he gets sacked again. That time, he got sacked by number 58, Ty Hamilton, the redshirt junior. And it'll be 4th and, I think, 18. I believe. Yeah, he'll be 4th and 18, 4th and 17, and Missouri will have to punt it. So Missouri will have to punt it again. They have not tried to score. They have not scored. Wow, and you can see Ohio State now beginning to control the line of scrimmage. Missouri punts, and Fielding Fair catches it at the 5 or the 4? Yeah, the 5. So Ohio State will start at their own 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 when we get back. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wash my face out because I'm tired. But before that, I'm going to answer some comments here. Okay. Mateo A. Bro, okay, so we need to transfer quarterback. Yes, because clearly Brown is banged up. He's going to need to rest for probably the entire spring just to be safe. And, yeah, Cameron Ward probably isn't coming, but maybe you can get someone in the spring or really lean in on Kienholz and Air Noland. I don't know, but Ohio State's quarterback situation right now certainly looks questionable. SFS inverted. Defense playing lights out. Offense needs to move. I couldn't agree more. Right now, Missouri is averaging 1 yard per pass attempt. They're 3 of 6 for 6 yards passing. They're averaging 3.4 yards per carry, 15 carries for 51 yards. So Missouri has ran 21 plays for a combined 57 yards. They're not even averaging 3 yards per play right now. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible by Ohio State's defense. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. Offense needs to step up. Ohio State's also winning the special teams battle as they're averaging 52.7 yards per punt, and Missouri's only averaging 41.3 yards per punt. But Riley Williams has put 3 inside of the 20. Mirko's only put 1 inside of the 20. I'm going to be right back, guys. I'm just going to, wash my face, and also I'm doing an ad break in the middle of every quarter. So we'll be right back. All right, so Lincoln Keenholz is going to start. This is going to be intriguing, to say the least. All right, 1st and 10 at their own 5. And they hand it off to Henderson, and Henderson gets about a yard. So it'll be 2nd and 9 from their own 6 for Ohio State. The win probability chart is just going up and down, almost like a short wavelength, because of the lack of scoring here. Igbuka motions out to the left of Keenholz with Henderson all the way back into the end zone. They're going to hand it off again, and Missouri immediately read that play. 3-yard tackle for loss. You have to trust your quarterback down here with a Missouri defense that is fast at defensive back. I mean, they sent that was a linebacker blitz this time, Tristan Newsom, but they've been sending linebacker blitzes and corner and safety blitzes, and it's always the corners, linebackers, and safeties that get to Ohio State. It's not the defensive line, because Missouri's not good enough there. They're going to motion out Stover, and they're going to hand it off to Henderson again. Henderson gets back some of that lost yardage. It'll be 4th and 6, though, so Ohio State's going to be playing a little bit of a field position game here, which is not good. Got to get comfortable, get some more points before halftime. Ohio State just doesn't look good right now. They look kind of lethargic offensively, got to be honest. Both teams with 3 sacks, Missouri with 6 TFLs, Ohio State with 4. Mirko will punt it away. This looks like a pretty good punt because Abrams Drain is going to back up all the way to his 30, and he's tackled at his own 32. So, 58-yard punt. Missouri is good field position, but not amazing field position, and if Ohio State can get a 3 and out, maybe a sack, they'll get decent field position and probably be comfortable letting Keenholz throw. Yeah, 3-0 Ohio State's the score, ladies and gentlemen, just for context, which is nuts. I thought it would be higher scoring than this. But alas, here we are. This could be like a 13-0, 20-7, 20-3 final score. Or like even just a 10-3 final score. This could be like Georgia Clemson in 2021 to open up the season, where it's just pure defense. Both teams only have 3 first downs. Ohio State has 58 total yards. Missouri has 57 total yards. The Buckeyes are 0 of 5 on third down. Missouri's 1 of 6 on third down and 1 of 1 on fourth down. The Buckeyes have 3 penalties for 15 yards, and Missouri has 2 penalties for 5 yards. Whoa. Check the chat. BK, whoever wins the turnover battle wins here tonight. I completely agree with that. Tina Young, thanks for the play-by-play, Sam. I'm watching from Japan, visiting my son stationed here with the military. It's Saturday morning over here. Well, tell your son thank you for his service from myself, and you're welcome, Tina. Thank you for being on the channel. And in Japan, is there any place you're visiting in Japan? Oliver S. OMG, throw the football. Oh, yeah. It's honestly, that play series was somewhat pathetic. I mean, like, Wildcat, run, obvious run. It is what it is. Strange. Hayfield Hermit. Okay, this might be a little out of pocket, but I'll take it. Ohio State trying to be Michigan. Michigan's offense has not looked this lethargic at any point in the season outside of the Iowa game. Okay. Exotic Tea, never mind, this will be a snooze sleep emoji. I mean, I'm tired right here. It's hard. It's honestly hard to talk about this game. It's hard to talk about, but it is what it is. Got to talk about it anyway. Okay, so Missouri is starting from their own 32 in what is a snooze fest, as Exotic Tea would put it. Brady Cook on a designed quarterback run is going to pick up the first down, gaining 13 and getting out to the Missouri 45. Both teams' strength right now is their rushing attack. They have yet to find any connection in the passing attack. All right. I expect a run from Cody Schrader. They motion Luther Burden over. It is a play action. Sawyer immediately bringing pressure, and they got him. They didn't sack him, but Sawyer shoestring tackled him, and Cook only gained about a half a yard there. So Cook is constantly getting pressured, has to run for his life. I do think Ohio State's O-line is doing a better job at protecting the quarterback, but Missouri is doing a better job at opening up holes in the ground game, and Cook is that much more elusive and aware than Devin Brown and Lincoln Kienholz because he has more experience and he's a better athlete. All those things help. Ohio State going tighter than usual. Looked like they were going to bring pressure with number 30, Cody Simon, and also Jordan Hancock on the blitz. Instead, Schrader gets the handoff, and he's going to gain about 7-8 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 2 at the Ohio State 48. There was a run to the left side by Schrader, very patient, letting his blocks develop. Now there's a 3rd and short opportunity where I wouldn't be shocked if they used Schrader again because they're finding space. Missouri is. Brady Cook's back there alone, though. He's going to motion back in Schrader on a wheel route, and Brady Cook is pressured, and he's going to have to throw it away. So it'll be 4th and 2. Let's see if Missouri goes for it or if they play the field position game, trusting their defense. Cook is yet again frustrated. Right now, Brady Cook is 3 of 7 for 6 yards. He's not even averaging 1 yard per pass attempt. And he's only averaging 2 yards per pass completion. I mean, that is just... This is the best secondary in college football. It is. It's Ohio State. Maybe from an NFL perspective, they're not, but we're not talking about NFL draft potential. We're talking about how these players are playing in college. This is the best secondary in all of football right here with Ohio State. If only their offense could actually do something right now, but that's beside the point. Pam Gibson, thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it very much. That means the world to me. Thank you for supporting the channel. If any of you want to support the channel, you can super chat right here, or you can check out my Patreon page via the link in the description and donate, and depending on your tier, maybe get some extra content. Chris Lane, thank you for the $2 super chat. Maybe our defense can get a touchdown. We'll see. I think Missouri they called the timeout. They're going to either drop a play or decide to punt it away. We'll see. Missouri seems like they're afraid to throw against the Ohio State secondary. They're not testing Ohio State one-on-one. I mean, they are looking for wide open passes. That's very clear. Very clear. Let me see what anyone else has said. Ja Demand, will you be live streaming the Rose Bowl game on Monday? Yes, I will. And you know what? No, I'm going to let you all know during the Rose Bowl game of some plans that I have that will be exciting that involve the playoff. That's the biggest hint I'll give. But yeah, I will be live reviewing the Rose Bowl game, and same with the Sugar Bowl game, but I promise you I am going to get sleep. I won't be this tired, and I'm going to have a fair amount of content coming out Sunday, like some final preview videos and a more detailed prediction explaining the rationale behind my score picks for the playoff games. Those are going to come out Sunday. Monday it'll just be pure college football playoff review, watch party, live commentary, and then the Tuesday after that, or the next day, will be the reaction and analysis. Pam Gibson, thank you again for the $2 super chat, because I see that you gave another one. I appreciate that very much. Very, very much. Definitely a break for Ohio State. That fumble was not reviewed. Looked like a fumble and clear recovery. I don't know. That was very sketchy, is what I will say. Also forgot to mute the ad. SFS inverted. If you lose to Alabama, would you be more upset than last year's TCU loss? I don't know. I mean, this year I think Michigan is far and away the best team in the country. That's why I'm picking them to beat Alabama by double digits. That's why I've picked them to win by double digits basically in every game. And against bad teams they have. Against Penn State, they practically won by double digits. Against Ohio State, they certainly didn't. Michigan, I feel like I would be. Also, Missouri's going to punt this ball away. They're not going to go for it. I would be disappointed more than TCU, because last year I felt like Georgia was the best team in the country after the Big Ten championship game, and I probably wouldn't have picked Michigan to beat Georgia in the national title if Michigan ended up beating TCU and Georgia beat Ohio State. Maybe if Michigan owned TCU and Ohio State nearly beat Georgia, then I would have picked Michigan, but initially my playoff reaction was Michigan will beat TCU, but they'll lose in a close game to Georgia in the national title, or maybe they'll win in a close game. This season, Michigan should win it all, and if they don't, it'll be a disappointment. So if we lose to this Alabama team, which is the worst Alabama team in my mind since 2010, I'll be livid. I will be absolutely livid. No doubt about it. Okay, Ohio State is at their own 11. They're going to hand it off here to Xavier Johnson, and he gets about a gain of 4 or 5. It'll be 2nd and 6. Chimichanga Guy, thank you for the $10 super chat. Here's a little something for you, Sam. Much love. Much love back to you, too, Chimichanga Guy. I think Burke was robbed from winning the Thorpe Award. Let me see who won the Thorpe Award. I think was it Cooper DeJean? Let me check. Thorpe Award winner. Oh, Trey Taylor. Yeah, I think Burke was really good this year. Keenholz is going to lob it deep. I don't think that was grounding, though. I genuinely think he was trying to find his receiver off his back foot and just threw it too strong. Yeah, I think that maybe I'm wrong, but I think it should have been like Burke or Proctor winning that award. I mean, the secondary was so freaking good for Ohio State. It was a shame that they didn't get Henderson's motioning out as a receiver on 3rd and 6. I'll answer more of your comment after this play. Devin Brown designed quarterback run, not Brown, but Keenholz rather. I'm just used to Brown running on those plays. Only gets a gain of 2, so it's 4th and 4. Ohio State will have to punt away again. Ohio State's secondary was good. It was elite, actually. And if you gave Michigan Ohio State's secondary as an example, Michigan's defense would be even better than they are. I think that Will Johnson, Mikey Sainristil, and Rod Moore are good. In fact, on average, the average Michigan defensive back might have a better NFL profile than the average Ohio State defensive back. But, I mean, Burke and Proctor just played phenomenally, and Ohio State's secondary is younger than Michigan's, so that affects their NFL profile as well. Just absolutely amazing. Thank you again for the $10, Chimichanga Guy. We are missing 2 offensive players. It should not be like this. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. was carrying the offense all season long, but I think the bigger loss is Kyle McCord. I think if you had McCord right now, Ohio State would probably be up like 6-0 or 10-0. Because McCord was a better passer than Brown. He's obviously better than Lincoln Keenholz. Let's see what happens. They're going to run with Cody Schrader. He's only going to pick up a gain of 1 or 2, so it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 35. Missouri started at their own 33 because Mirko had another 50-plus yard punt. He's been having a good day today, and Ohio State needs him to continue this. They're going to run it again with Cody Schrader. Another gain of 2. So 3rd and 6. Obvious passing situation unless you want to do a quarterback run on the outside with Brady Cook. This could be another Missouri punt. If you're Ohio State and you get a 4th down stop, you call the timeout. Or maybe, well, Ohio State started out this game with the ball. So I don't think you want it to run into halftime. I think you want to try and double dip, and your defense has been reliable enough. Both teams are pretty equal in possession as well. Ohio State doesn't send pressure. They only send 4. Cook has plenty of time, and Cook is going to throw it. He overthrew his man, number 5, Mookie Cooper. And Brady Cook now moves on to being 3 of 8 for 6 yards, which is pretty sad. He's averaging about 2 feet per pass attempt gained. That's some Spencer Petras level stats, and it's not because Cook is bad. Cook's pretty good. It's because Ohio State's secondary is that ridiculous in coverage. That's why. Jaden Fielding will be back to receive. It will be Riley Williams to punt this away. Man, Riley Williams and then Missouri's kicker, Harrison Mevis are big for special teams players. And there was contact on Jaden Ballard, kick-catching interference, so Ohio State will get it in between their own 20 and 15-yard line, I do believe. It sucks that Devin Brown is hurt, though. It absolutely sucks. By the way, we have 32,000 views on this stream. About 800 concurrent viewers at a time. People constantly coming in and out of here. But my record for views in a live stream is 32,000, so it'd be awesome if we can get more. Oh, the kick-catch interference was due to an illegal block. It was 15 pushing him into 9. So Ohio State will be inside of their 10 again. And Parker Fleming is mad, but he commands an awful special teams unit anyway. He has no right to be frustrated. You're the reason why the special teams unit is not efficient, Parker Fleming. Pam Gibson again coming in clutch. Their third super chat on a live stream. Thank you for the $1. I appreciate it. Very, very much. Okay, total yards. Missouri 81, Ohio State 64. This is like a 2018 Michigan State, Nebraska. That's what this game is. This is an ugly, gross slugfest. Let's see if Ohio State can somehow pull something together in 1:38 seconds. You don't want to make any mistakes, though. They are going to hand it off to Henderson, and he's going to be tackled for a two-yard loss. What are you doing? Why are you not trusting your receivers? It's just, why? Ugh. Missouri taking a timeout. That's just asinine. You gotta pass. I know that you don't like the fact that you're starting your third-string quarterback, but you have to do something with him because you're not utilizing your... I mean, what... You have Carnell Tate, you have Emeka Egbuka. Trust your quarterback. I mean, Ohio State right now is averaging 2.4 yards per carry because they're running it when it's obvious to run, and they're letting Missouri feast on their offense. It's ridiculous. Wow, I mean, this is just bad. Devin Brown is still working out that leg. I think they're hoping that he'll be healthy in the second half, but I think that's wishful thinking. Just me, though. What do I know? I mean, apparently in the preseason, or apparently at points in the season, I was an idiot for picking Michigan to beat Penn State. All right, they motioned Johnson, and they motioned Stover to the left from the right. Looks like they're going to run, but you don't know. All right. Oh, my gosh. Another 2-3-yard loss. They ran it again, and now Ohio State is at their 1. You run it again, you're risking giving Missouri a safety, and Missouri calls their third and final timeout of the half. That's ridiculous. What are you doing? Oh, my gosh. It's just horrible. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is disgusting. That's grotesque. Oh, Stover's pissed. Stover's yelling at the entire team. He's like, I didn't play in the Cotton Bowl to look like absolute garbage. Come on. I mean, I want Ohio State to win because I want the Big Ten to be good. But, yeah. I mean, it's not only the play calling that's bad. I mean, Ohio State's run blocking right now is just horrific. It's just, I mean, this is like watching... What Ohio State looks like right now is 2022 Iowa. That's what I'm watching. I am watching 2022 Iowa. I mean, it is that shocking that this team is this bad offensively. It's that shocking. It is... This is mind-boggling stuff. Like the video if you haven't already and subscribe to the channel as well. 1:30 left. Are they gonna... They're gonna QB sneak it, aren't they? Yup, they're gonna QB sneak it, and he barely got a yard. Wow. That's sad. And now there's a flag. If it's on Missouri, that gives Ohio State some life. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be on Missouri. Yeah, it looks like it's about to be on Missouri. Yup, defensive unsportsmanlike conduct, first down. That was on Walker Jr., number 15. So now Ohio State will have a chance to do something. Oh, Drinkwitz is mad. He's not. I don't. Is he mad at the? No, he's mad at his player. Yeah, Ohio State got saved by that penalty. I mean, you're QB sneaking it on your one. You barely get a push to get like a half yard. It's just pathetic. It's pathetic. Okay, 1st and 10 at the 17, and Xavier Johnson takes it, and he has space. Wow, that was a good play call. If you're going to run Wildcat, you don't only use one player. That was a good gain, out of bounds, saves Ohio State a timeout. Xavier Johnson there. Wow. Timeout? Or are they reviewing this? No, it's just on the sideline. They're viewing a sideline player. All right, so Ohio State, they're at their own 34. They've gotten some yards. You have to throw it under a minute left. You can't just continue to use Wildcat. Keenholz to throw. They're going to say incomplete, but we'll check. Let's see. He was going to Carnell Tate, number 17. It was way underthrown. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was on the turf. But for a minute, it looked like it might have just bounced just from his hand, not from the turf. But 2nd and 10. 53 seconds left, 2nd and 10. Ohio State now with 76 total yards. I mean, this is watching 2022 Iowa. Oh my gosh. Wow. I mean, he looks like a true freshman. He looks more true freshman than J.J. McCarthy did in 2021. I mean, right there again. Dalen Carnell. Another defensive back blitz that's just totally unaccounted for. No motioning, blocking to protect him. No shifting protection. Nothing. Just you let your quarterback get aced for the 4th time and a half. 3rd and 10, 48 seconds left. Day's probably going to have to call a timeout because there's only 2 seconds. Nope, called the timeout. Because the clock almost ran. I mean, this is sad. At least Ohio State gains some field position. Like, if they get one 30-yard pass, they could go up 6-0. Wow. I have no words. None. Wow. Whew, ho, ho, ho. 3rd and 10. Ladies and gentlemen, 34,000 viewers in the first half. 135 likes. Let's try and get to 60,000 views by the end of this stream and 300 likes. This is awesome. Wow, I mean, And we're not going to be doing trivia at half like we typically do, because it's pretty obvious that Ohio State's better than Missouri in most areas. But what we will be doing is we'll be talking a little bit about 2024 for Ohio State. That's what we'll be doing here. Alrighty. 3rd and 10. They're not going to run. And Knowles is going to throw it. And Ballard nearly caught it just off of his fingertips. Marcus Clark nearly got beat, but off the fingertips of Ballard, nice defense. Wasn't perfectly thrown. If that was McCord right there, that's probably a pass completion. And what you're seeing here is... What you're seeing here is the product of either great coaching by Ryan Day or horrid coaching by Ryan Day. Not much in between. I say that because it's like what SFS Inverted said. I'm embarrassed, Sam. Either this staff is doing a good job coaching because so many of these players are like just they're not fit to be playing in a Ryan Day offense. So they've had to make massive adjustments, and the fact they're winning with this team is impressive. Or this is a testament to the fact that Ohio State's staff, particularly on offense, has just done a very poor job of developing their talent. And I think it's a bit of both, if I gotta be honest. Okay, but Brady Cook's coming on out. They have 28 seconds and a timeout left. Let's see if Missouri can get into field goal range. I wouldn't be shocked if Missouri just ran it because they received the second half kickoff. They're going to try and pass. Cook's going to take off, and he's going to slide at the 30. So he didn't get the first down. Clock continues to run. They're going to try and go no huddle. 14 seconds left. Cook, pass. Oh, it's complete. Like first downfield pass of the night, 8 seconds left, out at the Missouri 47. That was Mookie Cooper. Harrison Mevis is a weapon. So this could be tied 3-3 at the half. Looks like Ohio State's just going to want to send 3 people. But Ryan Day's going to call the timeout. Wow, I mean, this is just... Like, what is going on? Like, why is this 3-0? This sucks. This sucks. I wanted a game where you had some back and forth scoring. This game is very back and forth. There's just no scoring. Ohio State given a 72.6% chance to win per FPI. They honestly look like the better team. Yeah, Harrison Mevis is big. He looks like an offensive tackle, and he's a kicker. Brady Cook's back in there with Cody Schrader. Wonder if they're not going to run it against this 3-man front. That'd be like psychotic. Luther Burden with 3 seconds left, though, so Missouri's going to have to go for a Hail Mary. They're not going to be able to kick a field goal that long. Or maybe they will. They're bringing out Harrison Mevis. This is from what? This is from the Ohio State 48. This is going to be a 65-yarder, but he hit a 61-yarder. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Okay, let me see if they make this. This is from the Ohio State 48. And Missouri caught a delay of game. That's hysterical. And, yup. And now it's a 70-yarder, so there's no point. That is comedy gold right there. Oh. Yup, and now you have to throw a Hail Mary from your own 47, and I don't think Brady Cook has the arm strength to reach it all the way to the end zone. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, a 50-yard pass probably isn't super challenging. Ohio State's playing total prevent. Alrighty. Sawyer gets, like, immediate pressure. Wow. Okay, that's halftime. 3-0 Ohio State at the half. 3-0. I'm going to go get a little bit of a snack, and we're going to take an ad break, but we'll be back to talk about Buckeye football for sure, and also get your thoughts on the game. So I'll be back very shortly. See you guys soon. This game is like watching the Viet Cong fight the Mujahideen. Like, no one has any efficient weapons, or if they do, they don't know how to use them. It's nuts. They're like, these teams are throwing rocks at each other, and like their guns are jamming. It probably terrible analogy, but it was more entertaining peeling the banana that I just ate than watching some of those final drives where it's run, wildcat formation, run again, incomplete pass, near intentional grounding. JT Sports, very good to see you on here. Ohio State needs to get that Honda McCord back. Honestly, if McCord were here, Ohio State would be comfortably up at the half, and this would be a different story. But alas, McCord wanted a guarantee to start, and Ryan Day did what he I think, should have done and said, no, this is college football. We're not going to guarantee you. But it is what it is. There are so many chats that I have yet to answer. So many. That's what I am going to try and do here. But yeah, JT Sports, I mean, Ohio State needs to get a QB in the portal because Brown clearly has injury problems. That's going to hamper his development, at least in terms of the spring, and Kineholes is not ready. I mean, Missouri's defense, to their credit, is a probably top 25 unit nationally, but I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you also need offensive linemen. I mean, that's probably the more pressing concern. Brown wouldn't be getting banged up as much if his offensive line was better. I mean, can you imagine Henderson behind a 2022 Michigan offensive line? He would kill people. He would be averaging 7 yards per carry. He would be like Donovan Edwards in 2022, but more consistent, where Edwards was averaging like 7 yards per carry, constantly breaking through for long runs. That would change this offense in its entirety. A superior offensive line. But I think you could have better quarterback play as well, but that is just my opinion. Okay. They did nothing on the first 2 drives with this kid who all these podcasts were saying was going to have a massive game based on how he's performing on practice. Ohio State doesn't have a decent quarterback. I thought that he'd have a pretty good game. I had him passing for over 200 yards. And that's probably not going to happen here. But granted, I made that prediction thinking that Marvin Harrison Jr. was going to be playing, and then a few days later, it's like, no, he won't. I don't know. But Mateo A., you do bring up a good point. Ohio State clearly does not have a championship-level quarterback right now. I mean, that is as clear as the day is from night. I hope we look better next year, says SFS Inverted. And this is the intriguing thing. I don't know if you will. I mean, let me look at the depth chart. Matthew Jones is gone. Donovan Jackson could come back. Josh Fryer, Josh Simmons, and Carson Hinsman are definitely coming back. I'd say you need to pay as much money to Donovan Jackson as you can. I mean, you need good NFL-level offensive linemen to win next year because I don't think you're getting a C.J. Stroud. You might even have even worse quarterback play next year than this season, depending on what happens. And losing Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't help, and we don't know who's all coming back yet. There's a chance that everyone but Marvin Harrison Jr. who can come back returns, but there's also a chance that that isn't the case. So we'll just have to see, really. And it sucks, but patience is a virtue for a reason. And these 5-star wide receivers are never going to be utilized if you don't have competent QB play. This is a New Year's Six Bowl, by the way. I'm just disgusted. I think we will still win, but this won't be a game where you go, hey, let's watch highlights of Ohio State-Missouri game. Yeah, the highlights will be like 5 or 10 minutes of just tackles, TFLs, and penalties. There are more... Wait, let me see this. This will be hilarious if true. There's a total of 9 completed passes by both of these teams. 9 completed passes for 48 yards. Missouri and Ohio State combine for 47 yards. These two teams only have 1 more yard in passing yards than they do in penalty yards. Speechless. That's all I have to say. It's pretty grotesque. First time viewer, Mr. Diesel Doug, and he asks, who do you root for? I am a Michigan fan, and I also go to the university. It'll be fun to take. It'll be fun to take a class next year. Get closer to finishing my degree. THS last. Mizzou should be embarrassed. Got all their starters. Yeah, I mean, Ohio State's missing Eichenberg, Lathan Ransom, Marvin Harrison Jr. They're missing 3 starters. Missouri's missing 2. Ennis Rackenstraw Jr. and Tyron Hopper are 2 defensive starters. But also, really, for Ohio State, they're missing 4 because Kyle McCord transferred out. Neither of these teams look top 10. But Missouri, I guarantee you, is playing much closer to their potential than Ohio State is. I mean, this is just, it's gross. Oh my gosh, it's bad. I mean, right now, I said entering this game that Ohio State's better than Alabama, and I think with their regular season group, they are. This Ohio State team, 0 of 8 on third down. This is grotesque. I don't know how they would function against like an actual top 6, top 5, top 4 team. I don't. This Ohio State team playing Michigan, the game would be over by now. And in the fourth quarter, Michigan would start to run up the score. I mean, it's gross. You strap someone to a chair and make them watch this game. Mateo A., Michigan fan, I'm out of here. Yeah, I'm a Michigan fan. I mean, this is bad. Be right back, Sam. I'm going to go get a drink. Okay, sweet. Go Northwestern. What's your thoughts on Northwestern, Samuel? I'm very impressed with David Braun. I love that A.J. Henning had a good year. Bryce Kurtz, he had a good season too. Cam Johnson, I mean, they had some weapons this year at receiver that were underrated. And Ben Bryant had a good season at quarterback when healthy. Josh Preby, who is actually transferring to Michigan, did well on the offensive line. And Northwestern's defense was scrappy. They went 8-5. I think Braun, perfect hire. After what he did, you had to hire him. And I'm going to make a video documenting Northwestern's season. Don't know how long it'll be, but I'm going to be watching some of their highlights, looking at their statistics, and I'm going to be talking about them in like a dedicated video after the conclusion of the 2023 season. Because I want to discuss what happened. Like, how did they take the world by storm and finish second in the Big Ten West in a year that everyone and their mother and their dead ancestors picked them to go 11-1, 2-10, or 3-9. That's what I think about Northwestern. And 343 Films, yeah. Northwestern was easily the most improved team this season. They were easily the most improved team this season in terms of the Big Ten. No question about it. Holy cow. Wow. I'm going to set a record today in terms of views. I mean, this is just, this is bonkers. And the amount of views that this is getting is insane. It's insanity. I won't come close to this except for maybe the college football playoff games. From a Buckeye fan, Oliver S., I'm rooting for Michigan to beat Alabama. Go Blue. Well, go Buckeyes right back at you. I've rooted for Ohio State in every game this season, outside of when they played Michigan. I was tempted to root for Rutgers to beat them when Rutgers was competing, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, no, Michigan needs a win over an 11-0 team, and an undefeated edition of the game with everything on the line is just too good. Let's get it. Hashtag college football with Sam. I like seeing that analogy. Iman Shatit 13. Do you usually stream live during games, says Mr. Diesel Dog? Only for marquee matchups in the regular season, like top 10 games in the Big Ten. And typically I've tried in the past to do New Year's Six Bowl games, and college football playoff games. I don't always do all of them, and I'm not doing all of them this year. I'm not going to be live reviewing the Fiesta Bowl or the Orange Bowl, just the Cotton Bowl, the Peach Bowl, and then the playoff games, the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. And depending on circumstances, keywords depending, I might live stream the national championship game as well. Guillermo the Auburn fan. Or Guillermo. I think it's Guillermo. I think. I've only taken a semester of Spanish, so pardon me if I mispronounced your name. Samuel again. From Mexico to Michigan. What do you think about Auburn? Love from Mexico. Well, it's awesome to have someone from Mexico on here on College Football with Sam. I think there was someone the other day, this is on a different channel, but it was a Nebraska fan from Morocco. No, not Morocco, Madagascar. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Auburn, this season was really close, at the same time really far. I mean, they were only lost to Georgia by a touchdown, only lost to Alabama by a field goal, and they shouldn't really have lost to Alabama, but they did. I just don't know what you're doing rushing 2 when Alabama's quarterback can clearly throw an accurate 30-yard pass. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. In that situation, what you do is you bring 4 or 5, you pressure Milroe, you force him to make a big play, and you sit everyone else inside of the 10. That's what you do. 6 guys inside the 10-yard line, or maybe 7, and at least 4 or 5 blitzing forward. B.A.Green 2000. The Michigan versus Ohio State game will be better next year. Michigan will lose to Texas. That will be their only loss next season. It'll be a good game next year, but I don't think it'll be as good as this year's game or even as the 2022 game. Because I think there's a chance that after watching this game, there's a chance that both of these teams take a step back next season. There's a chance of that. Maybe in terms of game quality, maybe it's better, but both teams combined, on average, I don't think will be better next season. But maybe I'm wrong. Steve Needlin, LOL, Rutgers beat Miami. Yeah. Mario Cristobal again with the choke job. What's new? Roger Wilco, I think Washington may win it all. This is something I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about. And by the way, for context, everyone, yes, this is halftime. I think for much of this season, I said that Michigan has the highest ceiling in all of college football. At points, I said Ohio State did, but for the most part, it was Michigan. I am now of the opinion now, with Zach Zinner being hurt and with Michigan's O-line clearly being worse than I ever thought it could be in the preseason, I think Washington is the highest ceiling out of every playoff team. Out of every team, period, in college football. Now, the difference is Washington doesn't have the depth or talent to play close to their ceiling every game. Michigan, Penn State level of talent and up, have enough depth and talent and veterancy. Washington has veterancy, but I don't think they have the same depth that most teams with top 15 consistent recruiting classes do, that they can play close to their ceiling every week or every other week. Washington is a 50 cal sniper rifle with about 3 rounds in the chamber with the bayonet. You use the bayonet to get rid of the ugly, to barely escape. That's what they did against Oregon State, Washington State. They did that against Arizona State. And I'd argue to a certain degree they did that against USC. Because USC's offense was overrated. And yeah, they didn't play their best game against USC either. They used a round in the chamber, I think for sure, against Oregon in the Pac-12 championship game. Because that was just an amazing performance. They may have used another round in the chamber. I'm not saying they exactly have 3, but I just don't think that Washington can consistently play at an elite level, but when they do play at their ceiling, I think you have an offense that's one of the best in the past 5 years, and you have a defense that's good at stopping the run, and that's incredible. Really is incredible. Man, 3-0 at the half. I think Washington can win it all. I am picking them to beat Texas, but I'm less convinced that Washington is going to beat Texas than I am about Michigan beating Alabama. I think that the Sugar Bowl is going to be the better game in terms of entertainment and in terms of competitiveness. Kevin Chavis disagrees. He says Texas is going to win the national title. I think Texas is the least likely team to win it all. The main reason for that's actually Jonathan Brooks' injury, because I think that Quinn Ewers is the worst quarterback in the playoff right now, and I think Brooks is one of the best running backs in the country. And look, Texas has one of the worst secondaries in all of college football as well. So combining all of those things together, I have the hardest time seeing Texas win it all compared to Washington, Michigan, and Alabama. But that's just me. Dolphin MGF, thank you for exposing the fact that no, I do not own a firearm yet, even though I would like to. I'd like to make sure I can defend myself or maybe go out hunting. But yeah, 1 in the chamber, 2 in the magazine. I look like a fool. Let me see what else. You pronounced my last name correctly, says Kevin Chavis. Great job, but Washington's secondary is worse than Texas's. I disagree. Analytically, Washington's secondary is slightly better. And then when you factor in that Washington's secondary has played better passing offenses, and also the fact that Texas is a much better defensive line, much better pass rush, Washington's secondary, I think, is a decent way ahead of Texas's secondary, especially at corner. Bilal, Michigan is going to get embarrassed by Bama. Why is that? Why is that? I'd ask the same if someone said Michigan would embarrass Alabama, because embarrass is a strong word. Why do you think that's the case? Alrighty. Welp, in the last 48 hours, we have almost 50,000 views. And I might gain 200 subs today. Which is pretty incredible, to say the least. Remember to like this video if you haven't already, because the Cotton Bowl is starting right now. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when I release more college football content. Also, if you want to support the channel, check out my Patreon page via the link in the description and in the pinned comment more specifically. I see that a lot of you have at least checked out my Patreon, and I for sure appreciate that. Just the fact that you went on there, you looked, you checked it out, etc. Yeah. Your support, your donations, whether through Patreon or Super Chat, they're always appreciated, but they're never expected. All right. And Mizzou is going to receive the second half kickoff. So they're going to get the ball, likely to start at their own 25. They're probably going to let it bounce out of the back of the end zone. And yeah. And Ohio State kicks it off. Going to go out of the back of the end zone. No, fair caught in the end zone. Correction. And here we go. Bilal, thank you for answering my question. I appreciate that for sure. It's obvious, Sam, in all caps, because Michigan will always take a big dump on the big stage. Also, the Saban effect, my friend. Oh, he got decked. Sawyer just crunched Brady Cook. It's going to be 2nd and 20 from their own 15. Wow, he killed Brady Cook. I agree with you on the Saban effect. I'm making a video. I gave 5 reasons why Michigan will beat Alabama. I'm only going to give 2 reasons why Alabama will beat Michigan. More so because I only have the certain templates, and I don't have enough time to construct one for Alabama. But there are 2 big reasons, and one of them is the Saban effect. And the fact that he's a much better coach than Jim Harbaugh. But I disagree with you on the first point. Always is a very strong word. It's an incredibly strong word. Like always. Like at some point teams break through. Not always, but sometimes. Michigan often has taken a dump on the big stage, but that doesn't mean they're guaranteed to this season. And those are simple. They're good reasons, but they're still simple reasons as to why Michigan will win. Brady Cook is going deep, out of bounds. Davison Igbinosun was covering Theo Weiss Jr., and Cook threw it out of bounds anyway. Roger Wilco. I have bet money on Georgia beating Florida State by over 12 points. You're going to win money. You're going to win money. And thank you, Iman Shot Hit 13. Thank you for suggesting for people to hit the like button. All right, y'all want to hear it? You want me to turn it up? All right, I'm going to turn it up to 20. There, can you hear it now? Let me know if you can hear the TV. All righty. Alrighty. Keenholz back to throw. Lofts it deep. Wide open is Xavier Johnson. And he's inside the 35. Looks like he got hit in the groin, though, or he got the wind knocked out of him. Nice catch, though. That's a 25-yard reception, I do believe. Beautiful throw and beautiful route. Wide open. He got behind the zone. And timeout for an injured player. Hopefully Johnson's okay. There's no way you have Alabama 42, Michigan 13. Have you watched these two teams? I mean, wow. The transitive property isn't always effective, but Michigan and Ohio State this year are built. Defensively, they're built similarly. This year, especially. Like, both are conservative, both like to be soft and not outwardly aggressive and rely on their D-line to operate and their secondary to keep everything safe. I just can't believe you think that Bama's scoring 42. I mean, just, no. It's more likely that Milroe will cough up the ball 3 times and Michigan will win by, 14 than for that to happen. I mean, you're saying a basically 30-point Alabama win. Game will probably be over at, half. Chimichanga guy, I'm waiting for a bomb from either team. Well, you just got it. I'd consider that a bomb for this game. I'm back. What did you miss? You missed Devin Brown. Not Devin Brown, gosh. Lincoln Kienholz throwing a 25-yard pass to Xavier Johnson to get Ohio State at the Missouri 31. Michigan beats Alabama 38-27. If you take a 7 away from each team, Chimichanga guy, that's my exact prediction. 38-20, not 38-27, 31-20, Michigan in the Rose Bowl. But Saban, with a month to prepare, that's scary. And Saban is a winner. Michigan will have to play one of their best games of the season. But I do think that Ohio State, the Ohio State team that Michigan at least played, is better than the Alabama team that they will face in the Rose Bowl. I am fairly confident in that. I know Saban's a better coach than Day, and he's had longer to prepare, but I think Day this year has had significantly better players at most positions, and that matters. I also think Day has had, on average, better assistants this season, so that, again, matters. But I could be wrong. I could be proven wrong, or my prediction could be right, but my opinion on Ohio State being better than Alabama could be wrong. Who knows? But we're going to get back to this. Alrighty. Kienholz is going to lead the Buckeyes. Right now it's 1st and 10 at their own 32. All right. Here comes a reverse, a pass with Igbuka, and it's way over the head of Carnell Tate. But Igbuka had a strong arm, and that was, pretty accurate. That was impressive. Yeah, he couldn't have ran that. Wow. All right. Kienholz gets about a gain of 1 or 2 on the read option. Going to be 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. Oh my gosh, my connection is awful. What's going on? All right, Missouri sends all-out pressure. Brown lofts it in the air, and that's incomplete. That's a pain. I hope I'm not too behind. 4th and 8. Fielding will try a field goal. 48-yard attempt. And he hooks it off the upright. No good. So Ohio State got a big play, but it turns into nothing. Still 3-0. Off the upright. Off the left upright. Yeah, it's bad. This is painful to watch. Wow. Oh. That felt good. Whew. Wow. Bilal, has Missouri even gotten a 3rd down conversion tonight? They've had 1. Let me see. Missouri is, 1 of 9. Ohio State's 0 of 9 on third down conversions. This is horrible. This is disgusting. Vegas lost too much money today. Did they lose money? Let me see. Okay. Ohio State versus Missouri Action Network. Let me see. Let me see if they lost any money, because, like, if most people bet the under, then okay, yeah. Let me check this out. Most people actually bet the over. So Vegas made money because 68% of the money was on Missouri, Ohio State to go over. I actually by my score prediction picked the under, but just by 2 points. My score prediction is still way off. I had a combined 48 points in this game, and right now we have 45 more points to go. This is grotesque. All right. Third quarter, 12 minutes, 24 seconds left. Okay. They hand it off to Cody Schrader. Schrader only gets about a gain of 3 from the 30, so it'll be 2nd and 7 from the Missouri 33. Missouri's had some success running the football, but they're averaging 3.4 yards per carry right now. Both Schrader and Cook have 12 carries. All right, Cook under pressure. His tight end Norfleet only gets about a gain of 1 or 2, so it will be 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6. Another 3rd and medium, 3rd and long for Missouri to convert. It's a tackle, I think, by Jordan Hancock. Igbinosin is over Theo Weiss Jr. and Denzel Burke over Luther Burden. Oh, yup. And Brady Cook is taking off. And Brady Cook on a scramble crossed midfield into Ohio State territory. So another 3rd down conversion from a scramble. Cook's mobility is just really helping this team. He has 13 rushes for 51 yards. He has 21 more rushing yards than passing yards. 1st and 10 at the Ohio State 49. And bad snap. He has to cover it up. So that's going to be 2nd and 20 due to a bad snap. And that just took away all the momentum that they had. I mean, these teams are shooting each other in the foot. They're shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah, that's bad. 2nd and 18 from their own 43. Brady Cook. Luther Burden in the backfield coming out on like a little, not corner route, but out route. Little out route, I think is what you call it. That's going to be 3rd and 16 because he only gained 2. So this is now 3rd and long. I don't think Brady Cook's going to pick this up with his legs. He could get into 4th down conversion territory, but it is going to be hard to pick this up with his legs. You're going to have to find an open receiver and make some magic happen. But I don't think that Missouri can pass against this Ohio State secondary. All right. Four-man rush. They're going to get to Cook. They're going to sack him. Jack Sawyer with, I think, his third sack of the day. So Ohio State should have decent field position. This Ohio State defense is wrecking havoc. Only sending 4 men, by the way. They have not sent much pressure all game intentionally, and they're still getting to the quarterback, and they're getting him behind the lines of scrimmage. Wow. Jack Sawyer with his third sack of the day. It's impressive. He's having a good game. 4th and 23 from their own 38. Ballard fair caught at the 25, so Ohio State will start 1st and 10 with only 75 yards to go, but there is a flag. Up, holding on the receiving team. It'll be 1st and 10 at their own 15 due to that holding penalty. These teams are just not playing disciplined. Missouri seems to want to be there more, but Ohio State is more talented and they're still playing motivated. I mean, Ohio State does not want to lose. Let's not get that mistaken. They do not want to lose one bit. But 9 minutes left in the third quarter, and the score is still 3-0 OSU. I mean, that's not good. Both teams only have 6 first downs. Missouri does have a 3-minute possession advantage. Ohio State's 0 of 9 on third down. Missouri's 2 of 11. Ohio State has 44 passing yards and 58 rushing yards. Missouri right now has the better rushing offense. Both teams have 4 penalties. Ohio State for 22 yards, Missouri for 25. One of the most disturbing games I've witnessed, says Jalen Rose. This is mind-boggling, to say the least. Hayden 47. How is Michigan going to score on Alabama? Well, I'm answering this question. I'm just looking up something. Penn State only allows 2.1 yards per carry on the ground. Ohio State only allows 3.4 yards per carry on the ground. Alabama allows 3.7 yards per carry on the ground. Against Ohio State and Penn State, Michigan ran for about 4.5 to 5 yards per carry on the ground. Against running defenses that are better objectively than Alabama's. Alabama's defensive tackles, look at Pro Football Focus. None of them are rated top 100 out of multiple FCS and FBS players. They don't have a top 100 or possibly even top 150 or 200 defensive tackle. Their interior defense is weak. Alabama's defense is Alabama's front seven is a Walmart version of Penn State's front seven. They just have a much better secondary than Penn State does, or at least a slightly better secondary. But Michigan will likely not pass on the outside or pass deep anyway. They'll probably use their tight ends, use the slot, go over the middle, and use their run game. That's how Michigan will score. Michigan will score because Alabama is not, just statistically, they're not going to shut down Michigan at the lines of scrimmage. And you say, oh, well, the SEC is just different. Stats don't necessarily matter. Well, I disagree with that. Because in 2021, Georgia only allowed opponents to rush for 2.6 yards per carry on their defensive line. And in 2022, Georgia only allowed opponents to rush for 3 yards per carry on their defensive line. Now, this season, which run defense statistically is more similar to Georgia's, Alabama or Michigan's? Well, you look at stats, and Michigan only allows 2.9 yards per carry. That's sort of in the middle between the 2021 and 2021 Georgia run defenses. And Alabama's run defense allows teams to nearly run for 4 yards per carry on average. Alabama's run defense is going to be one of the worst run defenses that Michigan has faced in recent memory in the Rose Bowl. Xavier Johnson takes the handoff, only gets about a gain of 2. Alabama's good at defending the run in general, but there were times against Georgia where, I mean, the reason they beat Georgia is Georgia wanted to run outside and they couldn't because Amarius Mims was hurt and Alabama's fast on the exterior. 0 for 9 on third down. They're going to run it with Johnson, and they're going to pick up the first down with a run, a gain of 12. And Michigan has popped some outside runs, mainly with J.J. McCarthy and occasionally with Blake Corum. But Michigan struggled to run on the outside. They have. I think McCarthy will have to run it some to keep the defense honest. And Dennis Jones, I disagree. I think Hayden's watched football. And I think he has a unique insight because if I'm not mistaken, he has an Ole Miss profile. So he's probably watched more SEC football than most of us, including myself, have, if I'm being honest. Like, overall. I've barely watched any SEC teams play football outside of, like, Georgia, LSU, Alabama. And, yeah, basically it. I mainly pay attention to the Big Ten. Okay, 2nd and 2 at their own 37. Kynals is back with Travion Henderson, and they are going to hand it off to Henderson, and Henderson found a hole out to the Missouri 48. So now Ohio State's offense is finding rhythm. Ohio State now has more first downs than Missouri and more total yards. It's good. It's a good start. Henderson with 16 carries for 67 yards, averaging 4.2 yards per pop. 5 minutes and 26 seconds left in the matchup. All right. Pass. Well short of G. Scott Jr. 2nd and 10 for Ohio State. Oh, guys, we hit over 200 likes. Thank you so much for all of you. And we've easily broken the record for views in like a total live stream. Easily. Easily broken that. All right. They're going to hand it off to Xavier Johnson on an end around. Johnson only gets about a half yard or gets back to the line of scrimmage. Not much more. All right. Missouri sends pressure. Incomplete. 4th and 10 to Carnell Tate. So Ohio State will probably, they'll have to punt again. Look, the Buckeyes now have enough rhythm to get midfield and convert some third downs, but there's still... Wow. Another punt. This is a game of inches. Just one busted play totally changes the game. Fair caught at the 5. So Missouri will start 1st and 10 at their own 5. We're going to take a quick little ad break here, and I will be right back. I'll be right back. This is awesome. Like, you all have been keeping me entertained with this trash game. Thank you, Giants fan 56. Have a great day. By the way, all of you, before I get off, I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'll be right back after this short break. Is this the ugliest game of the year? Like, serious question for all of you. Is this the ugliest game of the year? Like, no matter who wins, or even if the fourth... Because if these teams somehow start popping off in the fourth quarter, who cares? You played 3 quarters of some of the worst offensive football I've ever seen. Is this the ugliest game of the year? Let me know. Day is a good coach, but he should never touch a playbook again. He's good at everything but plays. Could be an overreaction, but yeah. SFS inverted. Just wait for the next 2 days. You're going to love a video that I'm going to release talking about that. You're going to love a video that I'm going to release discussing that ordeal. I have 6 coordinator names that I think would be better than Day at calling plays. They hand it off to Cody Schrader, and Schrader gets about a gain of 3 or 4. It'll be 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6. To score a touchdown here. It must be done. And St. Martin, Hayden 47, that's good. And I hope that you're able to watch the game. And caught Ibuka at the 50. But have a great New Year's, Hayden 47, and Merry Christmas. "25-yard pass to Emeka Ibuka, who right now leads the team in receptions and receiving yards. 4 receptions, 41 receiving yards. He's having a good game given Ohio State's quarterback situation. All right, let's see what Ohio State can do. Snap, good protection, and caught by G. Scott Jr., gain of 8. All right. I'm getting nervous here because you know me, I want to be right. Henderson gets about a gain of 1 on the run. Maybe he picked up the first down. I think it was just a gain of 1, though. It'll be 3rd and 1 from the Missouri 41. I want to be right on my prediction, and I had Ohio State winning. Even if they don't win in the fashion that I thought, a win is a win. Still a somewhat correct prediction. Kineholes is going to check the play. They're going to... Oh, that's smart. They QB sneaked it, picked up the first down. That was a smart play by Kineholes. 1st and 10. Another 3rd down conversion for Ohio State. That is the second 3rd down conversion of the game. Ohio State now 2 of 12. "13 minutes and 6 seconds left. 1st and 10 at the Missouri 40. Almost said 30. Play action. Kineholes is going to step up and run. Gets about a gain of 3 or 4. Going to be 2nd and 7 from the Missouri 37. It was a good play. Essentially what probably would have been a Henderson run if he handed it off anyway. All right. Come on. Come on, Buckeyes. Do something. Do something. Like anything. Oh my gosh, they handed it off to Henderson and he was tackled for a 3-yard loss. 3rd and 10 at the 40. Oh, that was ugly. That was ugly. Oh my gosh, that was gross. Again, Ohio State, they're able to get in Mizzou territory, but once you get to the 40 or 30, they can't do anything. And you don't want to take a timeout here if you're OSU because you're down. You got to save those for when your defense is trying to make stops. Missouri brings some pressure. Kineholes throws. Incomplete. 4th and 11. Do you punt or do you go for it? Yeah, that was not a good pass. Kineholes is far too inexperienced to make the necessary throws, and Ohio State's going to punt this ball away. Wow. And it looked like they were all right. All right. Whew. Wow. Just what an awful, game. Like, this is garbage. Ohio State just took up like another 3 minutes of clock to what? Punt the ball away, give it back to Mizzou. We'll see what happens though. If Ohio State can get a sack, a turnover, anything. Right now, Missouri is 215 total yards and 11 first downs. Ohio State is 174 total yards, 10 first downs. Both teams have about 24 minutes of possession. Ohio State's 2 of 13 on third down. Mizzou's 3 of 12 on third down, 1 of 1 on fourth down. Mizzou is running the ball better and passing the ball better than Ohio State right now. The only area where Missouri is worse is penalties, where they have 3 more yards of penalties and 1 more total penalty. But that's it. Yeah, this is bad. Not much else to say. All right, we're going to take a little ad break and be back. This will be the final ad break of the entire video, probably. So, I'll be back, and no more ad breaks after this. We're about to gain 200 subscribers in one single day. It's crazy. Wow. Just crazy. Insanity. Would not have thought this would happen. Michael Donegan said SEC better than Big Ten. Well, in this game so far, it certainly looks like that. The real test of that phrase will be in the Rose Bowl between the SEC and the Big Ten champion. Also, Penn State Ole Miss will help. Same with Iowa, Tennessee, and Wisconsin, LSU. Although I think the latter, I think that's an LSU lock to win. OSU mentally checked out of the season after the Michigan loss. This isn't us. Yeah, Harold Riggins, I agree. I mean, but you're playing with your third string quarterback. You're down 2 of your starting receivers. And you have some injuries. Like defensively with Tommy Eichenberg. I think he wasn't playing because he wanted to be precautious about his injury. Not like a total opt-out, just to be safe. But we'll see. Oh my gosh, we are 5 subscribers away from gaining 200 on the night. That's awesome. And we're only 50 likes away from getting to 300, which was the goal at about halftime. So let's pump those numbers up. The more likes and the more subs that you can provide, the better. We'll see what happens here. Okay, and we're back. 6 minutes, 38 seconds left. Missouri is keeping the offense on the field, ladies and gentlemen. They are keeping the offense on the field, which is crazy. They're 1 of 1 on 4th down. Let's see if they get it. And we've officially hit 200 plus subs tonight. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for the support, for the super chats, for everything. Let's see what happens here. And they get it. Wow. Reality's beginning to kick in. Wow. Wow. 1st and 10. Only 6 minutes left. Schrader inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal. Close to game over. I mean, if they score a TD here, it's game. Unless somehow Ohio State can... I don't know. I mean, this is just embarrassing. Gets about a gain of 3. Schrader, 24 carries, 108 yards, 1 touchdown. Mizzou is given a 93% chance to win. Wow. Missouri's rushing for 160 yards on 43 carries. They're really doing to Ohio State in a Walmart way what Michigan did. Granted, they're not facing nearly the same Ohio State offense, but that's beside the point. Touchdown to Luther Burden III. Play action. Wow. Welp. I am going to cook this team in my reaction because that is disgusting. Yup, that's it. Ryan Day needs a play caller. There is no excuse to score 3 points. Wow, that is awful. Awful. If you're Ohio State, what you need to do is you need to score quickly and come up with a plan for your defense. Nuts. It's just, that is gross, frankly. That's horrific. Awful. Just awful. Awful. Oh my gosh. Wow. Whew. Oh, wow. It's just bad. It's so awful. Wow. Horrible. It's just horrible. Awful. Just at grotesque. Um Gosh, the chat is blowing up. Understandably so. Joshua Royer, time remaining. 5 minutes, 12 seconds. So Ohio State, in theory, if they, score a quick touchdown, take all three of their timeouts, etc., they do have a chance, but it's not much of a chance. I mean, I'd say this is game. Oh, I'm going off of this. I'm going off on the Missouri had no. I mean, Missouri looks like the better team, and I'm going to give them credit. But given the talent Ohio State has, and given the fact that most of their players opted to play in this game, they should have won. And you know what? They didn't. They didn't win. They did not win, and it's disgraceful, frankly. Wow. This is just trash. This is utter garbage right here. It's what we're watching. Good for Missouri, though. I mean, like, they are playing with fight. You can see it. Wow. I mean, like, okay, let me check Twitter. Ohio State football. Everyone's saying this game is gut-wrenching. Fire Ryan Day. Michigan fans talking about how they've broken the Ohio State football program. I mean, honestly, this you know what this reminds me of? Jim Harbaugh and New Year's Six Bowls. That's what this performance reminds me of. Like 2018 Peach Bowl type stuff, where it's competitive for a half or maybe three quarters, and then Florida just takes the game over. This reminds me of the 2019 Citrus Bowl, the 2017 Outback Bowl, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this is grotesque. And if you want to say, well, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyle McCord opting out really hurts, and I would say, yeah, so does Michigan having a lot of their NFL defenders opt out as well. It doesn't excuse this. You're not playing Alabama. You're not playing Georgia. You're playing Missouri. Like, no disrespect to them, but Missouri is not a playoff team. Michigan, well, I'm going to wait until after the Rose Bowl, but I'm pretty sure Michigan would own Missouri in a lot of aspects. They would beat them by double digits. I'm confident in that. This isn't good. It isn't. There's no excuse for this. But here we are. Here we are. And this is it's sad. This is, we're only 11 subscribers away, by the way, from 13,600, and we're only 10 likes away from 300. I mean, this is it's gross. Gross. Roger Wilco, I am definitely glad I did not bet much money. I lost $3 on this game. Well, you're gonna win. You're gonna win money tomorrow on Florida State, Georgia. I mean, that you could see coming from a mile away with all the opt-outs. That was gonna be a W. Wow. Over 300 likes. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. We have hit our goal, and we've more than hit our goal of total views. More than hit our goal there. I mean, that's just phenomenal. 5 minutes, 12 seconds left, and boom, we hit 13,600 subs. So thank you all for being an awesome audience, regardless of how cancerous this game has been. Kaino's looking to throw. It's caught by Igbuka. And Igbuka is able to stay on his feet and get past the 40. Oh, this is bad. I don't know what to tell any of you here, but this sucks. I do think part of the problem with OSU is they're so national title or bust. I don't know. Yeah, this is bad. Horrible. Horrible. Let me read chats in here. I mean, this is just gross. If you told me Mizzou was going to score 14, I would have bet the house on Ohio. Totally embarrassing. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, thank you. That's what I'm thinking right here. Wow. Missouri's going to go for it on the 4th and short and convert it. Yeah, wow, this is 500 IQ. I hate the natty or bust mentality. It's going to be even bigger next year because the 12-team playoff. Michigan is the Big Ten. The Big Ten runs through Ann Arbor. The Big Ten absolutely runs through Ann Arbor. It runs through Ann Arbor. The Big Ten doesn't. And that makes me happy. I love that. Yeah. All right. Immediately after this game, I'm eating. I'll probably make my reaction video to post in like the AM, and then I'll go to bed. I mean, this is gross. This is trash. I mean, this is. I don't know what to tell you. It's bad. Kuil Ognati, Big Ten homers crying right now. Okay, that's a okay. That's I have to admit I'm pretty sad. I'm a Big Ten fan. I wouldn't say I'm a homer though. If you looked at my own like opinions, if you looked at my own opinions on the state of college football in 21 and 22, I picked Alabama to win it all after the championship games in 21, and I picked Georgia to win it all after the championship games in 22. Like, I can be objective. I still think that Michigan's the best team in the country. Does this make Michigan's win over Penn State look or Ohio State look worse? Yes, but also Ohio State down to their third string quarterback. They don't have Marvin Harrison Jr. and they have not played with intensity all night. But that should concern Ohio State fans more than just straight up losing, because that reflects on coaching. This game is an indictment on coaching. It is. I think Ryan Day is a great head coach, but he needs to figure some things out because Drinkwitz outcoached him this entire time, coached circles around him. And that's game, ladies and gentlemen. They converted a 4th down. That's it. Outcoached them. Just straight up outcoached them. Missouri's going to be in my top 10 final poll. That's what I'm saying. And Michael Donegan, I've given Missouri credit, but look at the talent. I'd be saying the same thing if it was Alabama losing to a Paul Chryst Wisconsin team. That's what this is like. That's bad. That is wholly unacceptable. Wow. And that's game. Mizzou wins. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so that you can get notified when I go live tomorrow for the Peach Bowl, Penn State versus Ole Miss. If you want to support the channel, you can super chat, or I'd encourage this more because YouTube takes 50% of your super chat. Patreon only takes 15% of your donation, so you can become a $5, $10, or $20 member on Patreon and gain some access to bonus content if you make that purchase and donation. Have a phenomenal day, guys. I will see you all around very soon, probably in like the early AM, like in a few hours. There will be a video talking about this game. And Sunday, there will be a video talking about Ohio State's offensive coordinator situation and some names. And these are names that I made a week ago, and I think they're just as valid today. Have a great day, guys, and I will see you all around. Bye-bye.